I'm Georgie Davis,
And Aline Mary.
live streaming from Wolf 28.
I have Russell for today's weather updates.
Today's weather is going to be a high of 10 degrees and a low of -5 degrees. Stay safe on the streets. The roads are frozen and there's about 2 feet of snow.
New political leaders. New political leaders emerged in the African American community. For the first time since Reconstruction, African Americans became more influential in national politics. Jesse Jackson, a former aide to Martin Luther King Jr., is also among these new general activists. We also heard that Jackson founded Operation Push. It is dedicated for developing African American businesses and for social and political development. Also, the African American members of Congress have organized the CBS, Congressional Black Caucus, to present their concerns clearly. Law and order. Nixon had promised to uphold law and order, and it looks like his administration went after anti-war protests. Attorney General John Mitchell warned that he stood ready to prosecute anyone who crossed state lines to stop raids. President Nixon also attacked the recent Supreme Court ruling that expanded the rights of accused criminals. Nixon openly criticized Supreme Court and its Chief Justice Earl Warren, and it hadn't been long since Nixon took office, the president replaced Earl Warren with respected conservative judge Warren Burger. Social news. Disability rights movement. The movement for the struggle for disability rights began at the University of California. Their movement advocating for the rights of people of all levels of abilities to choose to live freely in society. This have encouraged a lot of people with disabilities to live independently. They have also looked to the federal government to protect their civil rights. They sought for access to public facilities. They also demanded bans on discrimination in employment. One victory was the 1968 Architectural Barriers Act, which new buildings constructed with federal funds be accessible to persons with disabilities. In 1966, Congress created the Bureau for the Education of Handicapped, which provided educating children with disabilities. Economic news. A mighty economic machine slows. In the mid-1960s, President Johnson increased deficit spending to fund the Vietnam War and Great Society without raising taxes. This pumped money into the society without raising taxes. This pumped money into the economy. By now, this have caused rapid inflation. Rising oil prices is another blow, where U.S. have become an independent on imported oil, and the OPEC is using oil as a political weapon when there is a war between Israel and Arab neighbors. A stagnant economy. We are facing another economic problem. The nation started importing more than it exported. This led to closing many factories. Millions lost their jobs. Nixon nicknamed this problem as stagflation. Nixon tried to outspending and raise taxes and tried to get the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates. When they failed, Nixon ended the gold standard. US dollars came to the roll, but this led to a limited monetary policy. The president also imposed a 90-day freeze on wages and prices. This became known as the Nixon shock.
Hi, I'm Neil Gomez, and today's sports report is for the loss of the Giants. The Giants have finished the season 9-5, missing the playoffs by losing their season finale against the Los Angeles Rams by a final score of 31-3. The Giants finished second in the NFC East by a game behind the Dallas Cowboys. We're also one game out of the wild card playoff spot, but it was sadly won by the Detroit Lions. I'm Neil Gomez, and that's it for today's sports report.
I'm Georgie Davis. Welcome to Wolf 28. I have Mr. Ex-President Mr. Nixon in front of me, and I'm so glad to have you here.
It's a privilege to be here on Wolf 28.
Okay. So I have two pieces to ask you. Let me start. How was your feeling when the results of 1968 election came out?
I mean, it was a big relief for me, like, personally, like, I'm really grateful to all those who helped me throughout the election. A few strategies, like the budget strategy, they were really helpful for me in winning the election.
So you guys resigned from your job because of Watergate scandal. So how did the Watergate scandal impact you? I'm Georgie Davis. Welcome to Wolf 28. I'm ex-president Mr. Richard Nixon in front of me, and I'm so glad to have you here.
it's a privilege to be in this. For what? What did you just say? For what?
Wolf for you.
Oh,
Riddle, cut.
what? Oh wait.
5, 4, 3, 2. I'm George Davis. Welcome to Work for You. I have Mr. Ex-President Richard Nixon in front of me, and I'm so glad to have you here.
Yeah, it's a privilege to be here on Vote 38.
Okay. So I have 3 questions to ask you. Let me start. And what's your feeling when the results of 1968 election came out?
I mean, it was a big relief for me. Like, personally, like, I'm really grateful to all those who helped me throughout the election. A few strategies, like the budget strategy, they were really helpful for me in winning the election.
Okay. So recently, you got resigned from your job because of Watergate scandal. So how did the Watergate scandal impact you?
I mean, I'm not who they think I am. Like, personally, like, I was falsely convicted of this crime. Like, I don't think I deserve this.
So you're saying that you felt really bad when the accusation came on you?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even my fault. Like, they got no proof that it was me who did it. So,
Thank you, Mr. Nixon, for being part of Vote for You. So you're saying that you felt really bad when the accusation came on you?
it wasn't even my fault. Like, they got no proof that it was me who did it. So,
Thank you, Mr. Nixon.